Good afternoon, everyone. This is James Ramelli from KeenOnTheMarket.com, and I want to talk a little bit about some very bullish action that we saw today in the IBB. Now, as you can see here, the IBB rallied 5.675 today, so $5.67.5 to close higher by exactly 1.5%. Now, the IBB is the iShares Nasdaq Biotech Index Fund, so it tracks biotechnology stocks in the Nasdaq. It's a subsector of what the broader U.S. Healthcare sector would be. So this is an ETF that is very specific. And reason I'm talking about this one today is because we saw a really big move higher in the IBB, and our ETF macro newsletter highlighted strength in this name this past Sunday, just yesterday, and called for a potential continuation of the moves higher here in IBB. So if we take a look at the daily charts, what we talked about in the newsletter was how over the past week there has been continued inflows into the IBB, and we've highlighted it as one of the stronger points in the market right now. One of the other things that we include with the newsletter is an analysis of the market of the the Power Alpha indicator right here, which showed that we had a cross into bullish territory on the IBB, and this signal is continuing higher. So we highlighted this in the newsletter. There is still some upside left here in the IBB. It was also one of our bullish charts of the week in the ETF and macro newsletter. So what we're looking at here is a confluence of a bunch of different indicators. We highlighted this in the newsletter over the weekend, and we saw a big move higher in the IBB today. So it's a great example of how I can take plays in stocks as individual stocks, or I can look for plays like this in the IBB and get a much wider exposure if I know the signs that I'm looking for and if I know how to follow the trends here. We did a very in-depth analysis of this trend and of the movements in the IBB and fund inflows and outflows, including an analysis of changes in the Power Alpha rankings here as well throughout the course of the past week that we talked about in the newsletter yesterday. So if you missed it in the newsletter yesterday, keep an eye out for it going forward. Highlighted another fantastic setup here again this week in the iShares Nasdaq Biotech Index Fund. Everyone have a fantastic evening, and as always, happy trading.